Good day, top of the day, midday, whatever day you're listening to it. Let's make it a great day. Bueno dieta, baby, baby. What's happening, brothers? What's up, Cuv?
We
What's up, Nando?
we doing
What's
fine
up?
today.
You didn't like my Italian?
Well, no,
Buona
Oh, is that what that
dieta.
was? Is that
Yeah,
what that was?
yeah, yes. Thank you.
I didn't know you're so multicultural.
Hey, I got a lot of arrows in my quiver.
Hey, that's what happens when you drink
I've done
7
some
Up.
traveling in my time.
Yeah. So let's get this started. Let's have some fun today. Welcome to Brothers Crossing. Again, I'm RoRo here with my brothers Cuv and Nando, and we're going to kind of a fun show for you today. We're going to talk about some career paths, and hopefully for the younger generation, you have to understand that whatever you plan early might not be where you land at. So we'll talk about that. But to get everything started, we always start with our today's tidings, and Nando, as of course, you're the lead off hitter.
Yeah.
What's happening?
We have a lot. Let's talk about Las Vegas. When we were younger, we all used to love to go there for what? For the shows, for the gambling, for the alcohol, for maybe meeting a girl if you were single. Yeah, that's what it is. As of right now, Vegas is down 11% from June of 24 to June of 25. They're down 11%.
They're down huge.
Yeah,
huge.
they're a huge.
People are not they're just not traveling, or is it like
Well, they're saying a lot of airline bookings
Travel's
are
off.
down,
Yeah.
tourism is down,
Way
international
off.
is down. And here's the one thing that I'm going
Especially international.
yes, and I'm going to tie it together, which reflects on us. Alcohol today, they're saying that Americans are rethinking of drinking alcohol. They're saying that 53%.
Is that true, Rod? Are you rethinking about
what? Did you say something?
What?
I've inserted my eye roll right here.
Yeah.
Insert your eye roll. They are saying that 53% of the U.S. adults believe moderate drinking is bad for your health today. That's up 28% since 2015. Now, you guys ask, why are you bringing that crap up? Very simple. 2/3 of the 18 to 34-year-olds, the 18 to 34-year-olds are thinking that drinking is bad for their health, so they're not drinking that much. Now, here's the question for both of you. When we were 18 to 34, what were we doing?
Who told him all that
At
crap?
what age?
18 to 34, what were we doing?
Drinking?
I think it was before 18. Somebody told me a story once that, in high school, ride to school, show up, 2 shots before you got on. Who was that?
Yeah, that was Nando. Nando
who was
being a
that?
bad influence.
I don't know what you're talking about. So when you combine the alcohol thought process of an 18 to 34-year-old and you're looking at Vegas being down, if an 18 to 34-year-old wants to go to shows, do they have to go to Vegas? No, they don't.
No.
If they want to gamble, no, they don't, because they can do it on their phones. If they want to meet a girl, they don't have to go to Vegas because they have Tinder. So when you're combining the alcohol consumption, when you're combining tourism down, Vegas is in trouble when they're looking at trying to paint a picture to create a new narrative. What's the narrative for the 18 to 34-year-old? Because they're not like us. So what's their negative?
Well, but not only that, it's the cost associated. I mean, go and have a nice buffet. You're getting your head torn off. Drinks, buying a single drink. You're dropping some serious cash to go out for a night, have a couple of drinks and a dinner. I mean, you're dropping hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in one night. And I think people are, uncertainty. They're pulling back a little bit, and Vegas is feeling it, and international travelers, as well as conventions, which, that place survives on conventions. They still got conventions, but everything is off for Vegas. So but it's cyclical, right? I mean,
we'll see. I think you might be onto something, Nando. I think it's who they are advertising to. I think over the years, Vegas has gone through, we wanna go back to the Rat Pack style of advertising to the adults, then they put in Disneylands basically out there, and so it'll be
It's true.
interesting to keep an eye on that. But that's a good one. What about you, Cub? What's your tidings for today?
I don't really have any tidings, but I did think about something, and I think with our upcoming fantasy draft that this all kind of comes together. I'm hoping that perhaps your wife is upset that I draft somebody that she wanted and that she's willing to
Boy,
pay it off again. Because I could probably use
with a
another piece
putter?
of golf
Yeah, with a
equipment. Well,
$400
maybe,
putter?
maybe another putter or something else.
Yeah, no, no.
That's what I was
Uh,
thinking.
we
That's what
we
I was
signed
going.
we put that in our agreements. No more putters for you. No more. No more trading. My tidings today, and I was debating, but it kinda upset me a little bit, so I'm just gonna mention it and leave that one there. But the whole concept of our president again is tweeting away, and he's, talking about mail-in ballots, getting rid of mail-in ballots and voting
Oh,
machines. So I'm like, "What does that mean?" Okay, we've heard that story all along, so I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But the part that upset me on the tweets was like, the states are an agent of federal government through their president, and thus, for the good of the country, I'm going to write an executive order to get rid of
because no
mail-in
other
voting.
country on the planet does mail-in ballots but us. How do you
But
say it? Wrong.
wrong,
Wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going too far down that road. But the one that kind of caught me was this whole concept. I know last episode we talked about gold, and now they're saying how gold mining in the Black Hills of South Dakota is taken off, especially with the price of gold going up to $3,300 an ounce. They're like some of the Sioux people there. They've always had the battle with people digging there, but now they're like they're proposing having a bunch of mines where they now it's not like they used to do it back in the day. They use big machines. They use cyanide that kind of destroys the landscape, and so I thought that was interesting. Particularly, this is where it got my ire was back in 1890. They gave the Black Hills to the Sioux. All of a sudden, they found gold and they took it back. I'm like, I don't get it. It just caught my eye.
There's no one that's been screwed more in this country than the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that was just caught me. I mean, you know, given that and plus what's happening with, the deportation stuff, I'm just like, can't we all get along? I know we're not all can't consanguineous, but it's like we're still human. So it just
Is that a legal term you just threw out there?
no, that's not a legal term. That means you're coming from
Okay.
the same ancestries. We're not all consanguineous.
Okay. Well, thanks for that word for today.
Thank you. I gave you that word for it. And so that's today's tidings. I think the show today, we're going to call it The Career That Never Was. And it's going to be a little bit free flowing. But what I mean by the career that never was, I talked earlier about, the best laid plans. You think you're going to be one place and you end up somewhere else. And for us, we want to talk about how our career developed and what we wanted to be when we were growing up, where we're at, and how we ended up there. So, any one of you gentlemen could start. Kind of tell me what you when you were a kid, when you were, let's say, in third, fourth grade. What was the occupation you wanted to be? What about you, Cub?
I mean, I think like most kids when we were young, you wanted to be a police officer. I
Like
loved
most
it.
kids,
I don't know what area you grew up
Maybe,
in.
I don't know where you growing up.
maybe in our neighborhood. I don't know about your neighborhood, but I wanted. I thought about being a cop. Coolest jobs ever, and
So did you run around a little kid with a badge?
no, but you play those games with your kids. But I just thought it was a great job. Jacking people that were breaking the law and throwing them in jail. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. But obviously that didn't happen.
I have a question. While you were on
Yeah.
your 10 speed, did you have a red light and you were pulling people over, giving them tickets? I mean, how were you as a little kid as a police officer?
No.
But later in life, I watched a lot of cops, and I just thought, you know what? you catching all the bad dudes, catching, where's your driver's license? What? Lost, just,
I think you have a story when you were, chasing some, car thieves away.
did in Phoenix back in the day, had to chase one of our stolen cars and kind of took up a lot of radio time so the guys at the airport terminals couldn't communicate when they were needing stuff. And when I came to work the next day, somebody, and I think you know this person, Ro,
Mhm.
left a picture of Barney Fife on my desk. Like
She
it,
might be in this
yeah,
household somewhere.
I think she's in there somewhere. Yeah, I tell you what, when all that was going on, my adrenaline was pumping and I was ready.
So you wanted to be a cop, and then what was your next evolution, and then how'd you end up where you
Well, I mean, then I thought, being a pilot of an airplane, commercial pilot would have been super cool and, flying all over the place and patrol. That didn't happen either, didn't do anything to pursue it, zero ambition, just trying to survive and, getting married a month before my 18th
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah, yeah.
But, I do have to make a remark about that. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't go through all that. And the younger folks will realize that, you end up when you get to where you are presently, you think back, going back, what you went through, but those decisions you made, good or bad, brought you to where you are today. You can't regret everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you kinda went from the dream of being, Barney Fife
That is a good one.
to, uh
That is a good one.
My
where
God.
you're at today. So you got into the, travel industry.
Been in travel, rental car for 38 years. It's, was not a plan. I moved to California looking for a job, went in, interviewed. You always dress like this for an interview. I do, tie, shirt, the whole deal. Started the next day, and 38 years later, here we are. It's been good. It's been a
Wow.
good career for me. Bought and sold a
Yeah.
couple of houses, and it's been okay. Yeah,
What
right time,
about
right
you,
place.
Nando? What was your, childhood dream ambition?
It was to be a lawyer. They said I
Get
was
out of
great.
here.
Yeah, they
The
said
blood sucking lawyer.
I was
The
great
blood
at
sucking lawyer.
communicating with people, always negotiating, always trying to get up on everybody. So yeah, I thought as a little kid, bright-eyed little kid, buck-tooth little kid, I would be a lawyer.
But
Wow.
you went to college, yeah?
I did go to college, but lawyer was not down that path when going to college once I figured out how long you have to be there. So it was like, nah, we're going.
So, yeah, that changed your projection, huh?
and and the bill associated with it.
Yes,
Dang.
yes. Luckily, I only saw the inside of a jail probably for 10 minutes, but I was never there that long. So yeah, loved.
It's never happened to me. I've never been arrested or in jail.
So the dream of the lawyer went away, and you stopped dressing like Sidney Poitier in high school. And then what happened? So you went to high school, that's usually around the time when you kinda, "Oh, I have to get real about my career,"
Yeah, you get real
somewhat.
about your career, you start looking at it, and you have influences. You have influences of different people. My dad was opening up multi-businesses in the hood, whether it was a car wash or whether it was a general store. So my thought is, instead of becoming a lawyer, I would like to go into business for myself. I would like to own multiple businesses and do something with that. So that's what the career turned into as a teenager, watching what my father was doing. So I think it was more of his tutelage or his process.
Yeah. But then that's kinda like, you went to college, and so you start taking courses, and at some point in college, you start taking courses just to get credits, and so you finally figure out at the end of the day, you come to your junior, senior year of college. What happened then for you? What was
Well,
kinda
it turned out at first I wanted to be a person who handled bands. So I had in college, I was throwing parties at a lot of different locations, and
you want to be Diddy.
I wasn't
He's
using
he,
baby oil. That wasn't
he
happening.
he's a producer.
So I wanted to start bands, and then after that, for a couple of years, saw it go up and go down. Then I got into doing printing. Then I started going into sales, and then sales excited me. So I had that portion of it as being a lawyer where you're talking and you're negotiating.
Right.
But then you have the other part of owning your own business as in sales because you're trying to make money. As you're making money, you're getting extra money, you're getting bonuses. So you had a mixture of that lawyer, a little bit of that lawyer, and a little bit of owning your own business.
Mhm.
So it's been like that for most of the career of jumping around to different industries and doing sales, and it's just still gets exciting.
Yeah. So you're a and that kinda led to your entrepreneurial spirit, you writing books and things, so, I see the tie, but see, that's weird. Did you start from a lawyer? Now I mean, you brought in the entrepreneurial spirit from, your dad or whatever, and then now you're kinda right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, for me, it was,
it's gonna be like that for a little. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna come full circle that I'll be able to get that having multi businesses to run and everything else as it starts to come together. But I think Covet said it's just the experience of messing up. And these young
yeah,
kids are never going to get it until you're the uncle of the barbecue. Once you're the uncle of the
yeah,
barbecue, you'll understand
you
what
get
we're
to tell
talking
them.
about
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
younger,
yeah.
because we always thought, hey, when we get 30, we're going to be millionaires. Man, once you get 22, you figure out, no, I'm not going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or you're not on a fast path there yet, yeah.
We're
But
No,
you
not
I
never
going to
mean, but
figure
know,
that
you
out.
never know, you never know when opportunity is staring you in the face and you don't realize it.
No, we don't.
Uh, you know, things being in the right place at the right time has a lot to do with it. But there's one thing I learned early on, you guys went to college. I never went to school, never went to college after high school. I mean, I thought I did pretty well from not going to school,
Mhm.
college after high school. But there's one thing that I learned that is, listen to what people are offering you. Always listen to if someone wants to offer you something, at least listen. Listen to it and make a decision. Don't just blow people off because you never know that opportunity that's in front of you may turn out to be huge. So just listen.
Yeah, I was just saying, a bunch of experience. You start stacking experience, and you'll find kinda the career kinds will find you. I think for me, like you said, like any other people growing up, you want to be a cop. No, I want to be either musician or basketball star, sports star. And so I started off when I was young. I was playing in a group with my brother and cousin. We're called the 3Ds. I was playing the bass, and people around the neighborhood used to call me Bootsy from like Bootsy Collins Rubber Band. So that was my nickname. So I thought I was the man. And so just like any young kid, you kinda get distracted. I was playing sports as well at that same time. So we had a gig, 3 little young boys had a gig at it was like a swap meet or something like that, and we blew it off to go to a football game, to watch a football game,
My God.
and that was the end of our musical journey together.
And there could have been a guy from a record company there that was waiting to
Something.
meet you guys.
Yeah, and so we moved on from that, and I thought I was a basketball player, did okay in high school and played a little bit in college, but it was like, nobody's looking for a 5'6" two guard, nobody's looking for a short guy, a little 5'6" guy like to shoot a lot. So we moved on from there, and then I moved on from there, but then like I was asking Nando, you kind of go towards the end of your high school and where you wanted to go. And so that kind of, because that's going to lead you to what kind of college you're going to go to, right? And so, but when I entered college, I wanted to be an FBI agent,
Oh, okay.
but I'm like, ah,
Yeah.
I was scared though. I was like, I had a
G-Man.
lot of Barney Fife in me, like. They could put me in a undercover situation. Well, I'm giving up everything. Okay, the wire's right here. I'm giving up.
You be like, don't put me under. Don't put me 6 feet under. Here it is. The wire's right here. You see this dot right here? That's the wire.
You would have been raped in prison pretty quick. Just
Yeah,
saying.
and
He said 5'6". Yeah, you don't have any
Yeah.
muscles. Oh yeah, you're the appetizer, buddy. Yeah.
so then, at the end of the day, went through school, and then the one story that I always tell, like, I ended up in law, but I didn't know that career, like, I just kinda gave you were the things I thought I was gonna do with life, and I had to sit down when I was in college and gave my mom a call, "I don't know what's going on, what I want." "Boy, you're gonna go to law school," and that's it, and I'm like and that's how my
And that's
career
it.
found me.
And
That's
that's
how my career found me, yeah, and so you know, go to school and the first job you land, you kinda become an expert in that field and you take off and that's where you end up. So I guess the short point being like we all have these big dreams. You know, we're not discouraging to you not to go for them, but don't be upset if it changes because life's going to change all around, and you got to stack
constantly,
up those experiences in order to
constantly.
to move on.
Well, I'd like to add to that. When these kids grow up nowadays, remember when we were 18, what did our fathers say? Boy, you got three choices. One, you can go to school. Two,
Mhm.
you can go to the armed forces. Or three, get out my house. Tell me which one of those three you want to do. And these kids nowadays, they have the
I
luxury.
only remember the third one.
I'll get out.
I only
So these kids
Yeah,
nowadays
I'm sorry.
can stay home. They can stay home through college. They can, after
yeah,
college, they can come
more
back
living
and
home.
discover themselves when we were forced to get out at 18 and go through the hard knocks, go through the bumps and bruises, whether some of us went to college and others didn't. We had to go through that, which is different from these kids nowadays. They don't.
But it's usually yeah, it's usually like once your education was done, whether you when you went to college or you know, just you didn't go to college. Once your education was done, boy, you better get off my couch. You go get yourself a job. And so we all go find something and that's kind of where we start building our career skills. But yeah, interesting conversation. I think we're gonna share more stories like this. I want to ask you gentlemen now that you are where you're at, and if you could change your career right now, besides being a host of this great podcast, what would you want to do? Got you.
No, you didn't get me. I mean, mine would be an FBI agent or detective.
Okay.
That would be mine
I
when
can
you're
see you
sitting
doing the
here.
detective because I think you're too old for the FBI agent thing now.
I'm too old to be a detective too. Didn't you ever watch the show The Rookie? I'm having a
Yeah,
midlife
yeah,
crisis
that's
right
right.
now. Yeah, no,
That's right.
no, it'd be one of those.
I would like to be a sports agent. So anybody needs an agent, that you can click on us below, leaving your comments. We
He's
got you.
cheap. He's cheap because he has no experience. So, but he'll get you a great deal. He'll get you a great deal. Believe me.
But it's
Many
funny, I
people
went
are.
to a law school class with the agent for Dwayne Wade. He was the
Nice.
agent of Dwayne Wade, and he taught a sports law class. So I have a little experience, but no, not really.
But isn't that just, I'm sure, you probably do a thousand different, it's on the, just reading contracts and, that's all you guys do is read stuff and, and parse
Yeah.
words, you say this, can't say that, say it this way. I mean, that's why lawyers are so damn expensive.
No,
That's
a
how you
lot of
earn
it
such a living, lawyers do. Just make it more
very
difficult for us.
amiable people. They were very amiable people who, you know,
See, that's a
they
big word you used in college. I don't know what that.
all right. I think we're gonna wrap this one up for this week, but we'll be back. The football season's coming up. We'll be we're having our fantasy football draft. Three of us are in the league together, and we'll see how that works out this year. We'll report back from that. But as football comes up, maybe we'll have a show on football. We'll see. But I like to Nando get you to talk about your book one of these days. So
Yes, we will
maybe
do
we could.
that. We will do that, let's say next week. And the premise so
Okay.
that everybody can prepare is it deals with Alzheimer's and dementia, and it deals with children from the ages of 5 through 12. So I think I can come with some facts. I think I can come with some conversations, show the book, have people go to the website, have people take a look at it, because we need to have a discussion. And I'll leave you guys with this. As of today, in the US population alone, we have 7 million people who have Alzheimer's or dementia, something to that effect. And you're like, okay, That's not that big when you're thinking about the totality of the population. But they saying by 2050 it should more than double. So we're
Yeah,
looking at 14 to 15 million people with Alzheimer's or dementia. So the goal is just to start the conversation. I'm not an expert, didn't go to school for it. As I just told you, I wanted to be a lawyer. So we should just have the conversation and just start the conversation. So I think next week I should be able to
we can
educate you
talk
guys on
about it.
that.
Well, we're going to
Well,
be in that age group too. At our, yeah, you
yeah.
know,
So we'll look forward to that next week. But until next week, gentlemen, have a good week. Make sure everyone likes us, subscribe to our Facebook page at DFN Brothers Crossing. Got a YouTube page at DFN Inc. Hope you like it. Talk to you next week. Make sure you look both ways. Brothers Crossing. Good night.
later.